I am continuing my reading, and what I'm doing in this chapter is to read through the entire standard works of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. This consists of the Bible, the Book of Mormon, the Doctrine and Covenants, and the Pearl of Great Price. I am reading in a chronological order of events, not according to publication or volume, so I will be skipping around just a little bit as I move along. Right now, I am still in the book of Joshua, and this is chapter 14. Land divided by lot among 9.5 tribes. Caleb inherits Hebron as a special reward for faithfulness. So now by lot, this is basically drawing straws. So they map out the land and they say, okay, we have this land, who gets it? Everybody draws straws, whoever gets the longest straw, that tribe gets it. And that's basically what it means by lot. So, I think they had it more complicated, a little bit more fairly done, but by lot means randomly. Anyways, let us read. And these are the countries which the children of Israel inherited in the land of Canaan, which Eleazar the priest and Joshua the son of Nun and the heads of the fathers of the tribes of the children of Israel distributed for inheritance to them. By lot was their inheritance, as the Lord commanded by the hand of Moses, for the 9 tribes and for the half-tribe. For Moses had given the inheritance of the 2 tribes and a half-tribe on the other side Jordan, but unto the Levites he gave none inheritance among them. For the children of Joseph were 2 tribes, Manasseh and Ephraim. Therefore they gave no part unto the Levites in the land, save cities to dwell in, with their suburbs, for their cattle and for their substance. And the Lord commanded Moses, as the Lord commanded Moses, so the children of Israel did, and they divided the land. Now, brief note, that this was not all of Israel gathering together and each person getting their own little plot of land. As it says in that first verse, Eleazar, Joshua, and the heads of the fathers. In other words, the princes of the tribes. So Joshua being the commander, the leader of all Israel, in place of Moses, and Eleazar being the high priest. He was basically the bishop, or the presiding bishop, because that's what the presiding bishop is. The position of high priest in the Old Testament, in the time of Moses, that title was given to the presiding bishopric. So that's what we're talking about. He was the presiding bishop, Joshua is the president. Then they get the princes of the 12 tribes together. And each tribe receives their inheritance by lot. Then once each tribe had their land, then you would divide that land by family among that tribe. So at least the initial division was not done by family, it was done by tribe, and not everybody was involved. It was just Joshua, Eleazar, and the elders, the leaders of each tribe. They all got together, mapped it all out, and figured out who got what. Verse 6. Then the children of Judah came unto Joshua in Gilgal, and Caleb the son of Jephunneh the Kenizzite said unto him, Thou knowest the thing that the Lord said unto Moses, the man of God, concerning me and thee in Kadesh Barnea. 40 years old was I when Moses, the servant of the Lord, sent me from Kadesh Barnea to espy out the land, and I brought him word again, as it was in mine heart. Nevertheless, my brethren that went up with me made the heart of the people melt. But I wholly followed the Lord my God. And Moses sware on that day, saying, Surely the land whereon thy feet have trodden shall be thine inheritance, and thy children's forever, because thou hast wholly followed the Lord my God. And now behold, the Lord hath kept me alive, as he said, these 45 years, even since the Lord spake this word unto Moses, while the children of Israel wandered in the wilderness. And now, lo, I am this day 85 years old. As yet, I am as strong this day as I was in the day that Moses sent me. As my strength was then, even so is my strength now for war, both to go out and to come in. Now therefore give me this mountain, whereof the Lord spake in that day. For thou heardest in that day how the Anakims were there, and that the cities were great and fenced. If so be the Lord will be with me, then I shall be able to drive them out, as the Lord said. And Joshua blessed him, and gave unto Caleb the son of Jephunneh Hebron for an inheritance. Hebron therefore became the inheritance of Caleb, the son of Jephunneh the Kenizzite, unto this day, because that he wholly followed the Lord God of Israel. And the name of Hebron before was Kirjath Arba, which Arba was a great man among the Anakims, and the land had rest from war. Now there's a couple of things in what Caleb says here that give us a lot of information if we pay attention. Now I will say there's one statement like that, as my strength was then, even so is my strength now for war, both to go out and to come in. Meaning for attacking and for defending, he's just as good as he ever was. I like that. But he says here, 45 years kept me alive. He said, these 45 years, even since the Lord spake this word unto Moses, but they only were in the wilderness for 40 years. They were actually only in the wilderness for 39 years. Because the whole event of the spies, remember, that happened in the second year after they came out of Egypt, and the 40 years is calculated from the year they left Egypt. So they were only in the wilderness 39 years. I might have even been 38, but I think it was 39. In other words, the conquest of Canaan under Joshua took 6 years. 31 kings that were conquered under Joshua. Took 6 years. So this wasn't a 6 years. That's still a pretty quick conquest, but not ridiculously quick. It's understandable. We took 6 years to conquer all this land. Caleb is now 85 years old. So, well, maybe it's only 5 years, because he's 85 years old and it was 45 years ago. Well, no, yeah, it doesn't matter. 6 years fighting, yeah, we're all good. It would be 6 years. So we can see how long they were taking to conquer the land. We aren't given this information in the previous chapters. When it describes the conquest, it doesn't actually tell us how long it took. It just says who they conquered. But Caleb tells us. Now, I also find it interesting that the name Hebron is used throughout the scriptures as the name of this place. But it was Kirjath Arba. So, again, we see that the men, or, when Moses or others were writing the Bible, they used the names that were known at the time that they were writing, not the names that were known at the time of the events being described. And I find that an interesting little detail. I don't know how much I want to actually dwell on it. I do want to just check one thing, because I know the term Hebron I'm pretty sure it's used in Genesis as well as Exodus and all that. So I want to flip here. It's not in the topical guide. We got to go to the Bible dictionary, it says. Yep. Interesting. Well, we got about a minute left before this gets a little too long, so let's flip back here. Genesis chapter 13, verse 18. I'm curious about this. And this, if you want to sign off now, we're done with the actual reading of things, so this is just for my own curiosity. Interesting. So the land of Hebron, according to Genesis, it's a land, it's not a single town. And the plain of Mamre, where Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob are buried, and later Joseph, is in the land of Hebron. Now that's an interesting detail. So Caleb is given the land where the patriarchs are buried. And let's take a little flashback to Genesis chapter 35, verse 27. It says here, "And Jacob came unto Isaac his father, unto Mamre, unto the city Arba, which is Hebron, where Abraham and Isaac sojourned." Kirjath Arba. Now we're seeing that there is a connection. Everything connects together. So I just find that very interesting that they, now in Genesis, it actually is not uncommon in Genesis for them to state the name and then say, it's just like, this is what it used to be called, this is what it is now called. So it's like when Moses was writing Genesis, he was writing it saying, yes, this is what they called it, but just so you know where it is, I'll tell you what it's called today. As a way of letting the Jews or the Israelites know where all these things were taking place. So, Plain of Mamre was in the land of Arba, which would later be called Hebron, because the name would be changed by Caleb. So, again, Caleb was given as his inheritance the place where the patriarchs were buried. I find that fascinating. But this video is getting long enough, so I will see you in the next one.